Let's go. And this is the Underground World News Live here on this 12/3/2025. Good evening. Let's get the mic check in. Good to see everybody. Thank you, Steely. Thank you, Steve, for those super chats. Right at the gate. I appreciate it to the fullest. Wayne, Deanne, E. Fitz, Pixie, everybody. Kenny G, Mark, Older Bones, Barb. Good to see everybody. Kimmy, D. White, all my mods. Raymond, Skeeby in the house. Wake Up, Sue, Mark, Gabe. Good to see everybody. Well, yeah, got a lot going on. Threw a few things there in the title. There's always more than one I could fit in there. Can think you're nasty. Bill, Eon, Jenna. Good to see everybody. Jay from the Ville. Yeah, I hope you're staying warm out there. I know it's cold in most areas. Now, if you're in Florida or Arizona or something like that, like Spiro, much love. You're in a warm climate. You don't have to worry about all these cold temps, depending on where you're at. I know every state's different north to south, but thank you, D. White, Kev Bar, again, for sharing the stream. Everybody that shares the stream, thank you for getting it out there. Skeeby, Thank you for that. Appreciate it to the fullest. And thank you, Lord McCormick over in the UK, for the coffee and the love. I appreciate the support. Appreciate it to the fullest. I hope all's going good for you on the home front. We know that it's crazy out here politically. We're going to dive into a bunch of stuff here tonight. -10 in Minnesota. I don't know how you do it. 51. Hey, that's not bad. I'm in the 20s. So, yeah, it's cold out there. Winter doesn't officially begin till the 21st, but the weather doesn't ever work that way. It always gets pretty cold leading up to that. For me, December, January, February are going to be your winter months, your colder months. And yeah, it's just getting going. But to be honest with you, time's flying. And spring's going to be here before you know it. So I can't stand the cold. There's no other way around it. It can be deadly, though, so you got to be smart about what you're doing. I'm going to start off here with space. Here tonight, jump into some space weather, then regular weather, and then into the economic stuff, political stuff, crazier stuff. And then we'll wrap up with some of the stuff around the globe, around the world. All right, it's the sunward anti-tail of 3-eye Atlas, composed of multiple objects. Wow. Look, I myself, I like reporting on things and interesting things, but like this thing, so many different things pop up about it that it's like, what? Like so many different anomalies and things have popped up that I can't just ignore. Whenever something new pops up, I've got to do the update. Got to talk about it. No matter if it sounds kind of crazy or wild or what's going on. There's been a lot of it, but I tell you what, people could say, they always say conspiracy. They want to point us, like, what is conspiracy about anything that we've covered? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I haven't sat here the whole time and said it's a mothership from Andromeda about to drop the Ewoks off or something and start blasting us. I never said nothing about any alien life or anything. If you've listened closely, I've said that the alien life is here. That's right. It's here. But what do you know about that? Some people have such a small mind and operate in a box. They're never going to figure this thing out if they don't open their mind to see the bigger picture. Could this be all part of a big show? Sure. Anything is possible. Grey Wolf, thank you. It's up there, though. And for anyone that's like, oh, it's a projector projecting it, the sky's fake, like, I prove it. Just like those that say the place is flat and all this other stuff. All right, cool. Prove it. That's it. Like, with the whole flat thing, explain to me how the equator works. I always start there. But then, like, with these objects that you say are everything's fake, then, like, is there somebody standing somewhere throwing rocks? Is that where the space rocks are coming from? Explain to me that. Because you never can. You never can. Explain to me, if the sun is local and the moon is local, inside of a dome, inside this planet, explain to me how the solar flares work. It's that scorching the land and everything down here, since it's inside the bubble. Okay? It gets ridiculous. Some people are so badly damaged by the psyop. I know we're lied to, but, like, you have to start making sense of these things. And when you can never come with any evidence or any proof right out the gate, well, then you have nothing. Okay? With this thing, there's been a ton of evidence, a ton of data. It's not conspiracy. Everything from dropping down on our plane flat to its trajectory to flying within, the atmosphere of Mars, and then it's going to hit Jupiter's on the way out. And it calculated it calculated all this as it was going around the sun, it seems, and it's even shifted course. Even today's paper, they'll tell you that this thing is moving with a non-gravitational acceleration going around the sun, where it's not affected by the sun's pull. So now they're saying that this little itty bitty tail, this little stubby thing, it's been pointing toward the sun pretty much the whole time, which has been odd. Definitely doesn't have a classic comet tail. It seems to have a jet coming off of both sides. One's longer on the one away from the sun, but the one facing the sun, they're saying, seems to be a bunch of objects. This is where it starts to get like even crazier, because look, if this thing was a comet going around the sun, as they do, they start to off gas, they give a big coma, got a big tail, they brighten, they do all these things. A lot of times they fall apart, they disintegrate, because the interaction with the sun is too powerful. Rips them apart, melts them down, sublimation happens. All the ice that was in it starts to evaporate. And that's what we always witness. This was missing a ton of that. Remember, they said it had 4% water. So how it has any water after going around the sun is beyond me. There shouldn't be. Much less any other small particle. That's what comes to these little objects here. What are they? Could they be rock? Could they be ice? It couldn't be ice at this point. It would have all gone poof, going around the sun. So that leaves rocks. Little, and why they're all compact right behind it right here and stayed that way all the way through, pointing toward the sun. I don't know why, but Avi Loeb is, from the beginning, talked about a mothership. The possibilities. And yeah, there's always a chance of anything, right? He, again, is hitting on this idea that this could be a ton of like a craft, like a whole bunch, like basically following in tow behind this thing. And what that would mean is, like, this thing is got its own force, and it's moving through. And like, I don't know if you've ever seen trucks or people on the highway. They hop behind a semi that's going a certain speed, doing the speed limit, locked in, and they can get close to it, and it will help pull them, tug them along. I did this when the whole Area 51 trip, when we hit that flood. Only way I made it out of there is hop behind this big semi. I did just that. He kind of cleared the way, and like, I was right on his tail. I was either going to rear end him or we were going to make it out of there. And we made it out of there. The whole point is, like, this thing seems to be like towing behind it in that wake, some objects. Matter of fact, that's what the data is saying. That's what the facts are saying. It's not made up. It's not conspiracy. It's all real. Again, all real hard data. Now, what they are, anyone's guess at this point. We're so lied to. What's crazy is we are still witnessing a massive cover-up from NASA. They're refusing to put information out about this thing, updated information. We should have the finest pics you've ever seen in your life of this thing, like in all of its brilliance. But we don't. Not from them. Not from any of the governments. They've been super quiet since their little meeting. They've been super quiet. There should have been a plethora of updates and all kinds of stuff being kicked out. Now, Dobsonian today saying that this thing is emitting X-rays. Also, this past week, they admitted that it's giving off a signal, like a rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. The rhythm of like a heartbeat. Man, Like, when is it going to stop with this thing? Like, is it alive? You know, what is it? Well, super interesting. Again, unlike any other comet we've ever seen. And I would say there's some form of intelligence connected with this thing, one way or another. Whether on it, guiding it, other intelligent life out there anyway has to be observing it. Even the other life here on this planet. I don't know. This is the latest update. Outside of saying, look, man, this thing is a big mothership and it's got a bunch of small probes and UFOs tagging behind it. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it could be. It could be. I have no proof, though, either way. All I can do is tell you something's there. Could be rocks. It's definitely not ice. It's been long gone. It would have to be something that survived all that extreme heat in perihelion as well, passing around the sun, which is very odd. The nature of this thing, crazy. Just throwing it out there, the newest update saying it's got companions riding along with it. And we're still getting closer to this thing up until December 19th. So we still got a couple weeks as we're getting closer and closer. And hopefully the good images just keep on coming with this thing. So if you've got anything, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Love to share the image. Get it out there. And before we get away from space, I told you, it's the peak of the solar season, solar cycle. X flares are going to become common. They have been. They've been lighting up the backside of the sun, but now a ton of those are Earth facing. Look at that monster. Between 4296 and 4294 here. You can even throw 4298 that's popped up in there with it. That's just as big as the Carrington event sunspot. Granted, that sunspot was one big sunspot, but 4294 is big as well, alone. All this harboring energy for an X flare, and even 4295 sitting up here. That's what just hit us recently. What we're getting hit with right now tonight. It was an X2, specifically an X1.9. And then you've got the returning stuff from last week starting to come around the limb. All that action. So we've got, man, I'm telling you, 4294 looks ominous. They're turning around right toward Earth at this point. We're getting clipped by a flare that they said it was going to miss us because it was on the limb. And by all accounts, it should have missed us. The thing about the sun is if you're looking at it from Earth, like right as we're looking at the screen, is they make the sunspots make their way around past Earth and they get over here on this right side. For whatever reason, how it all works. Even if they're like on the edge, like 4288, if it was to pop off an X flare, the way the geomagnetic streams work is they pull back to Earth strong off this right side of the sun, more so than they do off the left side. So that's why it was kind of rare and odd that we got hit by this, meaning from here, like just like a barrel of a gun, every single one of these here, they're all turning toward us, and they've been popping off X flares. So look, we start popping off anything over, we really can't say that, like with the sun, I was going to say anything over X10, raise an eyebrow, like this thing's really ramping up, especially X20. Carrington event was said to be an X45 event. Okay. That affected the entire globe. What we're going to get hit with here tonight is going to be G2, G3, is what they're saying. It's going to cause auroras down through a good part of the United States. If you guys got clear skies, look north. You may catch a show here tonight from the sun. Um, Blackouts and disruptions possible from Minnesota to Maine. That is a warning, an emergency warning that has been kicked out by the NOAA, saying the power grids could be briefly affected, satellites and communications all affected by this. But looks like we're holding things down here pretty good tonight. If you guys get any good aurora shots, let me know. Love to share them. You just never know with these things. I mean, the sun's so active now that when you get these, when you hear me put out these alerts and these warnings get kicked out and things like that, it's worth stepping out and checking out the sky. You never know, because people were surprised last time. And I'll say this: if you think that if you see something, but you're like, it doesn't, I can't see it a whole lot, it's not worth talking about, well, take a picture. Take a picture anyway, because you're going to be surprised. For whatever reason, the phone and cameras seem to pull out the aurora, make it pop a little bit more, so to speak. So it may be very faint. Take a picture. You go inside, look, and see that there was more there than what you thought. Eyes to the skies. Speaking of power and grids, we got a lot of money being spent right now on natural gas because it's winter. Obviously, people want to stay warm. And electricity just in high demand in the winter. I mean, through and through, year round, you can't escape it. Whether you're trying to cool down the house or heat the house, it's one of the two. U.S. data centers saying the power demand could reach 106 gigawatts by 2035. We look here at this chart, and in terms of power demand here, you can see the color bar here on the right, the different places that are going to consume a ton. The PJM is a big, huge area. You got ERCOT, Southeast, Northwest, Southwest, MISO, SPP, California, New England, New York, and Florida. Hey, Tesla, free energy, 0-point energy is the answer to this all the time. But in the meantime, you've got Bill Gates creeping back up on the scene, man. Yeah, he's back again. It's not with fake meat this time. It's like he'll show up with one thing, and then like everyone like boos him off stage. He'll show back up with another thing, everyone boos him off stage, and he's relentless. He'll show back up later, but maybe he'll circle back around with fake meat again. This time he's coming back around with the sun dimming technology. I know you're all sick of getting sprayed like cockroaches out there, right? All across the United States by these chemtrails that are very real. It's very in the open now. I mean, when states like Florida put it on the books, like laws that you can't chemtrail there like that, even though we've seen them doing it since then, since they've said that. How can something be a law on the books if it's just a conspiracy? Again, it's ridiculous. Some people just show, it's an IQ test to me. Some people show their intelligence when you walk outside and like they're just tic-tac-toeing the sky. I mean, it's bad. You guys have all seen it. And people are like, oh, the contrails from the planes. It's just like being, you're just stupid. I guess this is all like wore off and worked on you. Like you're just ignorant. I mean, that's just my take on it. And I'm sick of stupid people because stupid people's what got us in this mess to begin with. Ignorant people and people that won't stand and rise and stand for anything. Just laying down, taking whatever Trump gives them at this point. But Bill Gates should be arrested, right? One of the minions, he was right up there with Fauci during the whole thing, and Trump knew this, but Trump had him over for dinner. earlier this year down Mar-a-Lago, and they talked about a lot of things, but the hot topic was mRNA. Wonder what these two goons, billionaires, were talking about. And since he wasn't putting Bill in jail, I know another Bill he could put in jail too, Clinton, but he won't touch none of them because he's a fraud. He's a liar. Anyone that stands up for this fool from here on out is getting it. They're getting called out. I don't care who they are, what it is. Like, they're protecting pedos, all of it, man. You know, I'm going for an hour here. These people that are riding for it still, they're trash. They're fake patriots. They're nothing. The garbage, the scum, the treason. They're just as treasonous as them, and they're cowards, man, is what they are. Whole reason most of them are doing this is because it's the easy way out. Took an oath to serve and protect this place instead of going against the threat, domestic. They buddy up with it. Sick. Again, because they're scared. They're cowards. They don't care how big and burly they want to look and act. They're cowards. It's over. The curtain's dropped. There's no more excuses. Nothing like that. Like, you've chose your side. It's pretty obvious at this point. Look, when the pedo card's played and you're still sitting over there on that side, like, dude, I'm really starting to wonder about you. Look, karma comes from out the shadows. It's just the way it works. And Bill Gates is never going to stop with this. Like, it's beyond Bill Gates, but he's obviously one of the front runner guys here. I think it should be abolished across the board. Problem is this is how they're getting a lot of the rain to drop across the country. That's what we've been saying forever. Oh, the chemtrail in the day. Oh, it's going to rain tomorrow. Oh, it's going to rain at night. Like, what? Like, you know, and like, I don't know. I've seen it myself time and time again. Like, just a pattern that I've seen for myself over time, that once the cloud seeding goes down, there's rain that usually follows it. We've been in a drought. It doesn't mean that it rains plentiful. A lot of the area has been in a drought. Another thing I attribute to them, they're controlling all of this. Weather's a weapon. You know, I'm hard pressed to ever find them doing anything good. You know, I wish I could come on here and report that, oh, yeah, they just started building desalination plants all up and down the coast, or like a state's done it, you know, like left and right, to turn salt water into fresh water, and they're pumping it into the people. And they got fresh, clean water coming in. Nothing like that is ever happening. But they don't do that. It shows how wicked they are. A lot of things they could be doing. They seem to be more focused on a reset here with this country right now. It's like the big thing that's about to happen. Done warned you about it. Told you it's going to happen. 2026 is the big one. They even put it on the front of the Economist magazine. Looking ahead into 2026, and what was front and center? Trump pointing at an economic graph that's going downhill and had two swords in front of it. He's pointing right at it, and the money getting flipped on its head, a gavel coming down, and the dollar sign in tatters, all in blood red. Yeah, that's the big event. It's a reset. So we've got a majority of Americans believing that higher education is a scam. A majority. A new strong poll here showing this is the case, where individuals are saying, nope, like, we're done with it. More and more people realizing that the colleges and organizations prey on young people. And they do nothing more than saddle them with a massive amount of debt, and they get no real job skills. They get no job when they get out. Yeah. In California, it was recently revealed that a shocking number of students entering college cannot even do math at an 8th grade level. Dude, what is going on? Like, this place is falling apart. Like, it's done. There's nowhere to run. I seen a woman do a little speech, a little spiel in a clip earlier. And she was explaining that they live in a $750,000 home, her and her husband. And they've been paying for like 4 or 5 years or something. And like they're making some good money to be able to afford all this. I don't know what the guy does. But her comment was like, as soon as he retires in 4 years, we're leaving the United States. And I'm just like, I hear this constantly anymore. That's all. But where are you running to? Because you look and see of all these options, and like, give it a month or two, and people are taking to social media like, yeah, I came to Africa from the United States, and it's not all what it's kicked up to be. Well, of course it's not. You don't have the convenience of all this stuff that people are expecting that you only find here. You're not going to find in other countries. And if you want to go off to some little island where, you know, everything's going to get shipped to it and everything, like, it's going to be super expensive. I see more people willing to run than stand and fight, and it's pathetic. Makes me sick to my stomach. I got to come on here and say this every stream because no one stands up. I do everything I can think of, try to get people riled up, give them a swift kick in the ass, to do something, but just it's always nothing. So everybody just wants to sit around and watch like it's entertainment and never get proactive to do anything. So it's just, you know, I go back and forth. It's like, I want to do something, like, and then it's like, why? Like time and time again, when I've tried to organize to do something, that people still, it's nothing ends up coming of anything. Like, there's no, I don't know, man. It's like, I've been out here and I've done the damn thing, and it's been disappointing. To see that there's like nothing popping out here, like nothing in this country, like nothing. I can't even find no strong movements, militias, real true patriotic groups, or just people that, I mean, well, I ain't talking like we got to rally and go to war, man. Like, just get some intellectual minds together, man, some good spirits and souls. But it's like everyone wants to cower on everything, and it's pathetic at this point. Again, I'm just at a point where I know no cavalry's coming to the rescue. You got to be the change that you seek, and I'm just not seeing much action, if anything, anywhere. It's very sad. Years ago, I used to be able to at least report on militias that were here and there, this and that, and like now it's crickets. I attribute a lot of it to the whole MAGA movement. It came through like a vacuum and sucked up all the patriots, thinking that they were doing the right thing, you know, against Biden. But again, aren't any of you smarter than this, wiser than this, more intelligent than this, to get led by the nose into a trap? Can't you take a step back and see you were getting played, pitted, one evil against another? No, everybody just jumped on this Trump train like it was the new cool thing to do. And again, I attribute to that the success, because a ton of people out there that never were a part of something in their life actually got to be a part of something. That maybe they were never part of nothing at a church, or another part of sports at school, or they were never part of nothing. This gave them a chance to be a part of something. Do you see? And none of them want to let that go. Look, we've tried everything, but MAGA's fragmenting big time. That's what I will say. It's falling apart massively. It did start with the whole pedo thing, and it's continued even up here to recently with the whole MGT thing, the whole thing with Israel, all that. Like, it's definitely fragmented down, and they're obviously trying to put all their eggs in the basket here, you know, with JD Vance, and I'll talk more on that here in a minute. Even got a clip of him here in a second. But look, man, I don't like where this is going for the country. I just hate it. Hate every bit of it. These auditoriums should really be full of educational and knowledgeable things, man. I mean, I think of all the missed opportunity here and like where we should be. You know. Anyhow, going to move on to the next one. Here is a positive. We don't get a lot of these. Not right now. Not going through certain sections here of the news. Like I'm on the jobs thing right now. Okay, so normally it's very dismal. They're taking a wrecking ball to it. But here, Power Up America, they're saying that in this sector from here on out of power, of electric lines, and really what's going to be like laying out a new grid, if they're going to dismantle this one and reset everything, like a whole new infrastructure has to be put in. They know this. They've said this. So 500,000 skilled workers are needed. Now, if you ask Trump doesn't think any Americans are worth this. He's like, how can you take these Americans that are on the unemployment line with no skills and have them go into a factory and learn something new? You just can't. And it's just like, you're ridiculous. Like anyone can learn something new. You tard? You want to bring in 600,000 Chinese specifically. Not even sprinkle in a little bit anybody else. Just because you're striking deals with Xi Jinping and the communist Chinese. It's ridiculous. Selling us out. It's the same thing they did earlier. When Doge was still up and operational, right at the gate, they were openly saying they're going to come in and replace us with Indian workers because Americans were too lazy and didn't have enough skills. They said it. They've all said it. And they all think this way. Okay? So now, they're going to need 500,000 highly skilled workers. If Americans don't step up to the bat and fill these positions, this place is done. If people want to really, really sit around and wait for universal basic income, we're done. And I told you we're done anyway. You gotta have to find a safe place to ride this whole thing out, in my opinion. That's where we're going with this. Because Trump's obviously been brought in to reset this. He said it himself. And to do so, you got to wreck the whole economy. This place is getting wrecked. But good luck if you want to get one of these jobs. I try to throw the opportunities out there so you can set your sights on something when we come across it. This might be one to look into because you're going to need humans that, to climb the power poles, set the lines, and do all that stuff these bots just are not going to do anytime soon. And especially at a good rate. Now, here's another part of the scam. Look at this. Elon is commenting on Zero Hedge here. The money is not the problem. AI is the new global arms race. The KPUX is funded by governments, mainly U.S. and China. And if you want to know why gold and silver and Bitcoin are soaring, it's the debasement to fund the AI arms race. But you can't print energy. Elon says true. That's why Bitcoin is based on energy. You can issue fake fiat currency, and every government in history has done so, but it's impossible to fake energy. Okay, Mr. You stole the name Tesla from the man that brought us the solution to all this. You piece of You literally stole the name from the man that had the answer to all this. You don't even mention it. Mention him, 0 Point Energy, none of it. You won't dare, because your masters will scold you. He's trying to get to that trillionaire status, you see. Here's the truth. And I've always seen it this way, and it's ridiculous. Bitcoin's nothing. Bitcoin is a digital nothing. And yeah, he's got one thing right about energy. It consumes energy more than anything you've ever seen in your life. Gold and silver that are mined out of the earth or pulled out or whatever, that has a process too, right? But the amount of energy that it takes to mine Bitcoin is sickening. Like the Chinese themselves, um, basically they do any of the mining that they've got going on in like waterfalls and stuff like that, because it consumes so much power. So you're telling me we're in a situation where we're lacking energy, and you guys just keep rolling out technology that consumes power? Bitcoin consumes power out the yin yang, right? AI is like worse than that. Makes no sense. They're talking about dropping these little mini nuke reactors all across the country now to keep up. It's just like, man, that's starting to get dangerous then. Free energy is the way. They're lying through their teeth. We all know it. We all know it. I can't stand Elon Musk. I can't stand Donald Trump. These billionaires that just lie. Straight to, I can't stand a liar, period. I don't care who you are, how much money you got, clout, whatever. Yeah. So I'm going to keep it pushing here. Futures rise. Bitcoin extends its rally. Copper hits a record. So that's what really catches my attention here. Copper hits a record. I told you, man. All these metals, man, on a tear. Gold, silver. And I told you, copper was going to do the same thing. Boy, oh boy. Let me throw this update out there real quick. If you guys send me any links or anything, either X, email, whatever, please leave information saying what it is. In more than just like 2 words. Like, explain something, like what's going on. Like, I don't have the time to watch 2-3 hour videos. I just don't. So if like there's something special and something, I do want to know what's going on in the clip. And with the information, please give me specific. Tell me what's going on. What's so special about it? And give me some timestamps or something to work with. I don't have all that time to work with, man. So, especially when I get stuff sent to me like that from several people. I mean, that would mean I would sit there and have to spend 8 hours just watching YouTube videos that people send me. There's no way. So I warned about this, that if you see any copper out there, you should snatch it up. I even gave stories of how I used to do this on the job years ago, and got my young and ignorant boss at the time to wake up and see where he was missing big money in terms of his business. He was just throwing it away. I was doing roofing, and we used to flash around the chimneys all the time, and you flash with copper. And he had big sheets, big rolls we go by for the job. When we're up there and we're flashing, you're cutting all these pieces off and you're just throwing, just like the shingles and everything else, off down onto the ground. And at the end of the day, you have cleanup. Somebody goes around, starts cleaning up, picking up everything. If it's not going straight into a trash bin, the best you can. So when it happened, I started picking up all these scraps, and it's dawned on me one day, hey, save them. Duh, save them and go cash them in. So I started throwing them in this duffel bag. You know, one day he saw me on the way out. We were talking. He saw me with these. Like, what is that? And I told him. And it was a kind of a double-edged sword type of thing. It was like he gave me props for being smart enough and for doing it and all that. And was generally like pleased that I was smart enough to like do something like that. But then on the other side of the coin, he was kind of pissed off at himself that he was letting this in a business slide. He's like, I got to put an end to this like now. And I'm like, I understand. I was like, I can surprised you didn't do it sooner. But he let me keep that bit, and it was just a lesson learned that this stuff is valuable. Um, Man, when I grew up in the hood, guys were going and tearing copper out of houses that were like abandoned, and the water wouldn't shut off, and like they were like trying to sink neighborhoods. I'm not kidding you. They would just leave the water gushing, 3 feet of water gushing, and just take off out of there as much copper as they could, and just keep it going. There was times in the hood where we had to get out in the street, take the sewer lid off, get down there. Didn't even have the special tool. Just concocted our own crap and shut the main valve off. To stop whole blocks from like getting submerged in like water. I've seen some craziness for copper. So when copper hits the high, remember I told you they were seeing this just this past year when the storms were coming across, tornadoes were coming across the United States, and there were huge power outages. These guys were getting slick and they were following the storms. And when the power was out, they were cutting down telephone pole lines. When they knew the power was out, snipping the lines and running out of there with huge strands of power line that they go and they strip the rubber off the outside, and then they take it and cash it in. The same thing happening at the Tesla power stations, the power cords. Tesla was trying to do something to stop people from cutting the cords. I don't think they've been too successful. Guys just rolling up in there hitting jackpot, just like snip, 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 and out of there within like 10 minutes and got a ton of copper. One way around this would be to stamp, maybe to somehow stamp the copper when it's made and rolled out with some kind of micro stamping or something to stop the thievery. I mean, you just can't have that. You can't have them out there taking out the grid to cash in on the lines. But that's just another sign of the times. That's where we're at. Copper at an all-time high. Gold. Do you got any? Gold is where it's at, without a doubt. And the countries that are accumulating the most are China, India, Poland, Turkey, Singapore, Japan, Thailand, Hungary, Qatar, and Iraq. They don't have the United States on there for whatever reason. Well, outside of us, you can see that we're at the top there. This is central bank gold. So this is the Fed, and the Fed is not part of our country. They're not even a part of our federal government. It's fake. The Fed, the Federal Reserve, is a private entity. So they're holding all this gold. Not us. Not us. Not us. All of our gold should be sitting in a place called Fort Knox, which they refuse to show us. Still, here, we're coming up, the whole year going to go by. Oh, yeah, I seen Polymarket just rolled out on the U.S. Sign up. If I get a link, show me that it's actually live, I'll share it on the next stream. But Polymarket's one that I like just because of just the odds. Not so much of all it's the gambling in it, but it's the polls and it's live odds of things that like really give people a lot of advantage here on making money if you know how the game goes here. But they have questions over there on Polymarket like will gold break $5,000 before 2026? And you can put money on saying no, it won't. And like, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day hits, boom, midnight hits, and like it never hit, then you win. Like you win a big chunk of money off of it. But what this does is it shows you trends. It shows you trends that you may not have even realized that's going on out there. That's what I like about Polymarket. in that aspect. It shows you things that you otherwise, it might not have been on the radar. Just different, all types of different stuff, man. And I'll explain more as I dive into that in the future here. But the stocks, obviously rigged. I've talked about the whole thing with crypto, but the gold and silver, they've been manipulated too, big time. And I mean, silver's knocking on like $60 door. I don't even may have cracked it today. It was like $59. This is where you want to be. You want to be positioned in these precious metals, if you ask me, to the best of your ability. And just keep stacking them. Keep stacking them. Only sell them if you have to in an emergency. Don't, like, that's kind of how I go about it. I don't even say I'm ever going to sell it or like have a plan. I just keep stacking it. Keep stacking it for all my days. You're dead and gone. Have something pass on to your family then. But if you need it along the way for whatever emergency, that's what it was there for. And it's going to continue to grow. There's going to be pullbacks. Okay, that's what I would really be eyeballing. You see these pullbacks usually when things get more peaceful. Okay, when things get more hairy and more crazy, that's when gold tends to run. Okay, and there's been correlations between Bitcoin and gold, but they've also broke the correlation. I just stick with the precious metals, man. Can't go wrong. Although, you better think about a really good way to hide it. And I'm not talking just from like neighbor robbers or whatever. Someone's going to come through local. I'm talking about the man. Because they're going to use satellite technology to easily scan property and find anyone's gold that's buried on it. If you're not like super deep in the ground and like inside of a container that's not going to get picked up as well, they're going to see it. They're going to find it. It's going to be easy pickings for them. The technology's here now. They could just scan over one property very easily, and they're going to find everything that got buried out in the backyard. Sure are. I say these things, I don't even know if anybody cares, but if you don't want them to find it or somebody to get it, then you might want to think about that. Well, then what do we do? Well, you do some research, use your brain, and find something you can hide it in that's not going to get picked up. Use a little bit of brain power, okay? Maybe go to the base of a mountain and dig deep into the base of the mountain. That's where I would start. Work my way in. But you're going to have to penetrate all through that mountain to see it. It's probably going to be your best bet right there. Not everybody has a mountain to go digging into, though, in their backyard. So, things to think about, man. People just sitting around. Government's making moves constantly plotting. When it comes to all the gold in the world, well, apparently that's how much there is visually compared to the White House right there. This is above ground, above the line, and then the total below ground. And that can change. They can find a reserve, here or there and announce it. And it is what it is. It's still very super rare. And there's not a lot of it. I mean, I honestly have always thought gold should be higher in price. And I think it'll run there in due time. I've always been eyeballing $20,000 range for gold to run up to. That's when you really know it's made its move. If you get in right now and you invest, you could quadruple your money by then. By the time it hits 20,000, you get 4 or 5 exits still from here. Catch a pullback, load up, 4 or 5x, and today $100,000 someone's making a year. still feels like poverty. This isn't good, man. I don't. Everyone was expecting Trump to come in here and fix things and turn it around quick. Well, he ain't done nothing. He's made it where he's accelerated this whole thing. JD Vance, obviously, this goes right along with whatever he says. He knows this guy's just sitting in shotgun riding the whole time, just smiling, knowing that, like, he's about to get the crown for like the next 8 years after this. He's just coasting, rolling around, not sweating anything, just waiting for his turn. And in the meantime, the dollar completely decimated, wiped out. That's a visual right there. This is the power on a visual scale of the dollar from 1913 to 1941 to 1971. You could see even in 1971, when they took us off the gold standard, we were already going downhill. It was in the middle of a downhill. We were already going downhill at that point. So in 2020, you can see in COVID, all the printing devalued it even more. They're debasing it. 2030, man. Will it survive to them? I don't know. Well, the dollar could survive, but will it maintain its reserve currency status? I doubt it. There's going to be this big event is going to be just that. It's going to break everything down. Looking here, did I miss something? All right. Small business job losses soar in November. So I told you about the opportunity in the one sector, but small business job losses just negative 13,500. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Just getting wiped out still, left and right. Here's JD Vance with the fresh, with some fresh mascara on.
I just want to pick up on something you said, Mr. President, because you hit the nail on the head. That it is absurd that Democrats talk about an affordability crisis that they created and the people around this table work every single day to address. You'll hear a lot of statistics today. You hear a lot of statistics in our political conversation. I think the most important statistic for the American people is that under the Biden administration, the average American family lost over $3,000 of household income. And under the first 10 months of this Trump administration, they have gained over $1,000 of household income. What that says very clearly is that we are fixing the problem that Joe Biden and the Democrats created in the last administration. If you look at every affordability crisis that's confronting the American people today, it is traceable directly to a problem caused by Joe Biden and congressional Democrats. Why did homes get so unaffordable? Because we had 20 million illegal aliens in this country taking homes that ought by right to go to American citizens. Why did tax bills get so unaffordable? Because Democrats were raising taxes while congressional Republicans under the president's leadership, we're now cutting taxes. Why did food get so expensive? Because we printed trillions of dollars and threw it into green scams that made our agricultural economy suffer while Americans were paying higher prices for food. On every single one of those issues, Mr. President, I think we've made incredible progress. But it would be preposterous to fix every problem caused over the last 4 years in just 10 months. I think that we've done incredibly good. But what I see over the next year, and you heard Brooke talk about joy and gratitude. What I really think this season represents for me, and I think for the entire administration, is that we have now done incredible work to fix what Joe Biden broke. And I think that next year in American growth and American prosperity could be the best year that we've had in the United States of America. It's going to happen because we're all working hard. It's going to happen because we have the greatest country in the world. But I think for congressional Democrats in particular, if they want to talk about affordability, they ought to look in the mirror. We are fixing what they're broken. We're proud to do it. It's the job that we were elected to do. But I think 2026 is going to be the year where this economy really takes off.
That's where it gets reset. Yeah, He likes to speak a smooth game, don't he? True. They've been in there 10 months. But what is also true is that all these other things have gone up while they've been in there. And the whole tariff thing is all Trump's idea, and it's affected people dramatically. They keep trying to like gaslight everyone and act like it's an amazing thing. Well, no, it's not. It's not amazing when the Americans are paying for it. We're the ones paying for it. What's crazy is it just took time. Like, we warned about it the whole time, but most Americans, they believed it. They believed that someone else was paying for all this. Well, no, you're paying for it, and now they're realizing it. And it's caught up. And this is why they just came out and Trump's trying to say, oh, yeah, we're going to try to send $2,000 checks to everybody. Yeah, they're in damage control mode. When they start talking like that, I don't trust him. Now, here's one thing I'm going to predict. You remember this. First off, I'm sick of like all they do is blame the last administration. When you constantly go back from Republican to Democrat to Republican to Democrat, all you do is set the current administration up as an excuse to blame all the bad stuff on the prior administration. That's all they do. It's all they keep doing. Biden did, Biden this. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep beating this dead horse for several more years. The Biden administration. It's all they're going to do. Well, here's the problem for old JD, because he's going to get smoked somewhere. Everything catches up. Everything comes out in the wash. They can only play this game for so long. If this goes the way it's projected and he becomes president for the next 8 years after Trump, well, guess what? Day one, when you're in there and there's anything bad going on, guess what? You cannot say it was Biden. You can't say none of it. You can't say nothing. There's no excuses for nothing at that point. You were the vice president. You were part of the administration that did everything for 4 years. So you're going to blame them? You're going to blame yourself? Doubt it. So, the hell with Vance. The hell with all of them. They're all crooks. Not a damn one of these politicians is worth trusting. If they're getting shot at and like getting hits taken out in their life, then maybe they're worth trusting. You're real. You know they're real at that point, right? If they're running for their lives, then you know the beast is after them, or you're either with them or they're against you. It's one of the two. So, Trump said a lot of things before, but he's mentioned again getting rid of the income tax. That's right, getting rid of the income tax. Now, how would that work? Well, as always, he doesn't give all the details, but I'm going to play this clip and then we'll talk about it.
And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much.
Keep it around for fun? Keep it around for fun. You're ridiculous, Donald. Keep it around for fun. Pathetic. Is what I seen today, the research that I seen today on this goes the other way here. Old Donnie boy never wants to give you all the goods and all this stuff. So he comes out and says, oh, we're going to, and this isn't the first time. This is at least the second or third time he's come out and he's made a statement like this. They're going to do away with income tax. My thing is, like, you have the power to write an executive order and just do it. Just do it. Quit sitting here talking. Okay, so here's the thing. Trump said that the income tax will not exist for most people in the not so distant future. And this is off the Patriot Voice. Here's the part that Trump is not telling us. Instead of income tax, Congress is working on implementing a 30% federal consumption tax for all goods. Do you know what this means? Where you at, MACA? Listen to this and pay attention to this clearly. Instead of income tax, because you're all going to cheer this on. You're going to cheer on income tax is gone, abolished, woohoo. But then on the back, just like you did with everything else, on the back side, they're going to implement a 30% federal consumption tax on everything, goods and services. That's on top of the tariffs. So yeah, you can say, okay, it was income tax was institutional theft, and you can make all these excuses and be like, oh, Dabu, you wanted income tax, didn't you? You can run your stupid little mouth all you want. It's gonna come around, it's gonna bite you because your dumbass doesn't confront it head on. You turn a cheek. So we're doing that right now. We're taking it head on, grabbing the bull by the horns and facing it. This is what they're gonna do. 30% consumption tax? Do you know what that would do? Let me break this down. And you're not talking like 10, 12, 15%. No, they're greedy. They're just going for 30. Okay? So this is how it would work. Okay? And remember, this is not including any separate state sales tax that may be applied separately. Okay? This is just the feds coming up 30%. Right out the gate for everything. Okay, for example, a $50,000 car is going to cost an American an additional $15,000 in taxes alone. I hope you're ready for this. That's not even including the already inflated price because of the existing tariffs. Like if you get a foreign car, if you want to get a new home, listen to this. You think that this place is screwed now? You watch this. A $500,000 home will cost an additional $150,000. This place is done. This place is done. Oh, because of your boy Trump. Oh, because you're Gentile piece of shit Messiah here. Sorry. That's not a cuss word in my book, but I'll let it fly. What do you want me to remain calm and act like it's cool? It's all entertainment. Everything's going to be just fine. Garbage. I'm a realist. When I sit here and I watch somebody decimating this place, am I supposed to sit here and talk about it, act like everything's going to be fine now? It's not how I work. You can go crawl back under your rock, go back to sleep. I see these things. We're all affected by these things. It's because people turn a cheek. It's why it gets worse and worse and worse. I confront it head on. If more people were willing to confront it, we'd be getting somewhere. We have a little army here to roll with. But like, nah. All too often I'm out here saying these things where everyone just sits around and watches. This dude's got to go. And no Republican, Democrat, no rigged election, no, none of that is ever going to fix it. Never. Never, ever. The people rising and doing away with the corruption is the only way it's going to be solved. And good luck getting that. Good luck getting that. So it's a setup. We're screwed. Okay? All right? I'll give it to you straight. Right? They're going to do away with the income tax to bait everybody in, as I just told you. Just a 30% federal income, federal consumption tax. Done. Keep hope, Dabu. There's good news coming about history. You know, I like the fact that you want to keep positive seaside, but I'm a realist. I don't sit around here faking things. And all right. I look at the situation we're in, where we can get some good news about history or something else, but no, this place is getting wrecked and we need answers. We need answers. We need to do something about it. I'm sick of coming on here and just help. We need to do something. But I'm trying to find people that want to do something about it and talk about it, and I can't find it. I just find a bunch of people that just want to stand around and just listen and watch, not get proactive. So like when my days are, checkout time comes for me, it's like I know I put everything into this. I feel like I showed up ready for battle, really ready to sacrifice my life if need be. And like there was no one around. There's like wasn't even an army formed. Like there was no one. There's no nothing. It's like, well, what am I doing here then? You know, pack up and go back home. Nobody showed up for the frontline war. Nobody did nothing. Yeah. Guess I should just listen to God. And when things get crazy, do as he said. Go prepare yourself a place to survive in the wilderness. He knew anyway. That's why he said it. If everyone was going to stand and fight, there'd been some kind of prophecy. There'd been something speaking of, but no. Ain't nothing. This place is cooked. I get sick of saying it, but I'm daring someone to prove me wrong. Step up, do something, hold a rally, form something, but that don't even seem to work. Tried everything. I've literally tried everything. And been willing this whole time to even lay my whole life down, like I said. And just nothing. Good luck. Everybody's on their own from here. I'll continue reporting on the madness, but as far as solutions, hey, I'm all ears. But again, I never get that email, never get anything from anybody, never get anything from anybody for nothing, to do anything, to mount up, to ride, to connect, to do anything positive, nothing. So that's just for the record books. And anybody backtracks and looks and be like, what happened? Well, I'm right now, this point in time, this is where we sit. Everybody's docile. Yeah. And we're heavily censored. We're heavily censored. We're up against the odds here. It's the government that always wants to shut you down. I don't know what's going to happen from here, man. AI is going to set in. You thought the censorship was bad. You thought all this was bad. It's going to get worse. It sucks that it's all this bad. But it is. We've got people getting arrested here left and right in this country that are getting tied to domestic terrorism. Ultimately, when anybody goes to rise, this is what they're going to do. What do you think they're going to do? A whole faction of people rises up and goes against the corrupted government. What do you think they're going to say about those people? Call them good guys. They're going to call them domestic extremists. They're going to try to drone strike them. They're going to do everything that they can. Okay, so let's just get that clear. Get that clear. So I don't always look at these headlines where they arrested a student with guns and a manifesto referencing martyrdom. Like this instance. Well, like, a lot of times these stories are full of patsies and someone that the feds have been working with for months, That's what it usually is. That's the truth of it, right? Come out of her. Yeah, the question is go where? There is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Currently listening to When the Greed Goes Down. Much love. You're going to see, what are you going to do? Just sit back when a time arises and you start to see real people rise against the beast? Just sit back and watch the headlines, the same like I just showed you. Like, feds just took down a guy, WW3, because he was speaking against Trump. It's going to sit there, blinking, not doing nothing, eating your processed food, consuming, off to the next video. Like, nobody cares. That's what I often feel at this point. Like, if they came and took me out, I really don't think anybody would care. I know somebody who will. But, like, for the most part, people don't. They were just here anyway to get free entertainment. That's all it was ever anyway. They never helped support the cause. They never fight the fight. They never got up off their ass and went out and joined us and did anything. Just wanted to consume for free and not put anything into this thing.
Oh, shit!
That right there is a U.S. Air Force
Oh, shit!
F-16 jet that crashed in California today.
This.
And
They've even gotten AI involved.
they made it out safe. They ejected. They made it out. So that was the key thing. I have an update to a story that broke where we had this millionaire and his wife get killed in their garage, got murdered, gunned down. This Dr. Eric Cortez, a board certified radiologist, and his wife, they were executed in what they called a targeted shooting. Where now they're saying that their son, Eric Cortez, the stepson of Vicky Cortez, Keith Cortez, here, he did it, and that he was found deceased from a gunshot wound in a burning car 70 miles away in Chino. He did all this. He was responsible. Shot him, watched him die, and then went down and did this for whatever reason. So it was their son that did it. And if that's not bad enough, you've got just people out there that will do that. It's pretty bad that, like, you got all this time, money, energy. And think of all the sacrifice, all the good guys, all the good cops, the good people that are rounding up bad guys out there for the, on the daily for real. Imagine all that hard work put in, and you got 7,000 dangerous, illegal individuals in jail. 7,000. Right? Just in one place like New York. Rapists, killers even. Killers. Terrorists, repeat offenders. Imagine all 7,000 are released. Right into the streets. That's what they just did. Well, yeah, I get that. People don't have to be leaders to get out and do something, Ava. You sure don't. Just to get up off your tail and go and participate and to do something, you don't have to be a leader. I've organized plenty of events in Minnesota. Good to see you there. I've just been to too many. I know. I'm not. The excuses don't work on me. From anybody, I've been to Million Man marches in DC. I don't know how many times, Million Man, whatever you want to call them. And I've seen the weak turnouts. I've seen it weak for everything, everywhere, every time. So in the meantime, more people. We can't get 7,000 people to gather, but they got 7,000 dangerous illegals that they're going to turn loose. Now, what do we got? We got over 1,000 here watching live. So not even all of everybody listening right now, you would be outnumbered against this pack right here that they just let loose in New York alone. We'd all be outnumbered right here. Just one release of New York, we'd be outnumbered 7-1. I'm going to start putting things into perspective. It's ridiculous. I won't be going in none of these areas. Unless I have to. Duty calls, I'll definitely be in there, but definitely not going on vacation to these places. Moving there. Let's go to Minneapolis. ICE strike teams deployed there after bombshell Somali welfare fraud report gets exposed. Apparently, a ton of money was being spent in I'm going to say there was scandal all over the place. There had to be, these guys were making all kinds of fraudulent money laundering activity. And And like they said billions. They stole billions. The Somalis and Jacob Frey's, which is the governor, I'm guessing here. The governor. No, Governor Walz is the governor, is the mayor. Mayor Jacob Frey, they stole billions. Like how? Billions. That's insane. Do you know how big of a scandal this is? Billions of dollars. And we're all over here hurting. Yeah. I just want everybody to know when this whole thing falls apart in the end, it's because majority that nobody did anything. Just remember that. But we tried though over here. We tried everything we had. You can rest assured of that. With all the resources, anything that I've got. Look, Mayor Jacob Frey here also says he's not going to cooperate with ICE. Dude, this could be a war zone. This could turn into Minneapolis could turn into a war zone here at any time. I've been up here, man. Jay Winch. What if the Somali gangs shoot at ICE? Well, I'd say that ICE is going to shoot back. There's going to be like a war pop off. It leads it like right into what they want, right? We don't want to see it. And thank you for that super chat. I do appreciate it, brother. In the comment, and good to see you.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities. And so, to our Somali community, Daman Shabka, Somaliyed Kunul, Minnesota, Garahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Ku Janila Hai, Waan, Ku Gereb, Taganahan.
What? Yeah. So this dude's over here speaking as gibberish to the illegals and saying that he's not going to give them up to ICE. Like, this is setting up for a big time show. I'm telling you, I'm watching these areas close. I've been waiting to see what the next target area is going to be that's really going to explode. We might have it right here. We might have it here in Minneapolis. Listen to this. The police chief says that Somalians should call 911 if ICE shows up wearing masks to make arrests. He says police will immediately respond and intervene. Interfering with immigration enforcement is a crime. I've warned you about this time and time again. These scenarios have been setting the stage for the feds to square off against local police. It's going to happen. And this is exactly how. It would be a war zone. No, you got that right. Much love again. Thank you for that, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Jay Winch. We'll play this clip here of this cop. This sets the tone here.
Masked, that they're not sure if they're law enforcement, that they may be kidnapping people. Like, we have had those reports. I want to be clear to the community. The community should know that if you see something like that is legitimate, that you don't know if someone is law enforcement, you should call 911. And you should provide as much information as possible, because let's not forget, we very recently had tragedy in this state by someone who was purporting to be law enforcement. So please, let's be clear. That's something everyone should report, and that we will immediately respond to, and we will document, whether it's somebody's not sure if there's a kidnapping happening, somebody's not sure if there's law enforcement present or not. And that's something else, that's additional policy requirements that we are implementing, that we will document and report these types of things anytime that we hear it, and reminding our officers of their duty to intervene. So if there is anything that is, a violation of someone's human rights or civil rights, excessive force or anything like that, they absolutely have a duty to intervene as police officers.
So I'm telling you, this sets the stage right there. And comrade, yeah, we can go on about that. I've been assaulted by the police myself many times in many different cities. I've been hit by the chemical warfare many times. Again, many different cities. And I'm telling you right there, that's interesting. It's a very fluid type of situation when you're in the front lines. Like any time anywhere I've ever been in any city, it's always been the police in the National Guard in, like, whatever feds they've got, like, all together against the protesters, against the people. That's what it's been like every single time. The thing is that they have a different command structure. They have a different mentality. Each group does. And I respect the National Guard because they've shown me respect. And not just on one occasion, multiple occasions. They surrounded us in Ferguson. They could have had us. They could have stomped us out. Had one big black guy on one side, big white guy on the other side that rolled in, military fatigues. Had us surrounded. They stopped and they looked and like, we ain't doing this. Like, we're all holding cameras, got press badges and all this. Like, dude, we're just filming. Like, we're doing nothing wrong. Like, freaked out. Like, they're gonna stomp us out. And like, they're like, no. They pulled everybody out, but when they did, the police pounced on us and hit us with all their stuff. And it was like night and day. And also in Baltimore, they did the same thing. The National Guard came down the street and they opened up a hole, and I just got hit by chemicals. Couldn't really see. And I followed their Humvee out of there, down the street, and like it got me out of harm's way. The police have done nothing but just beat and shoot, whether it's rubber bullets, pepper spray, launching these big, huge, loud bombs, repercussion grenades, hitting you with all kinds of chemicals. It's been bad. And Lady B, thank you for the coffees. That's the worst part of the front lines up there, but Minneapolis, man, you could see some big time action. I'll keep us posted as things change. Okay, Trump ends his cabinet meeting with a statement about these migrants, Somali migrants, and he's basically calling this Ilhan Omar garbage. I'm more in the way of thinking of like, I'm not going to sit here and call these people names. Like, if I'm the Don, if I'm president and I've got all this power, like, if people have done something against the law, like, get them arrested. Don't just sit there and call them names. But that's all this ever is. We're still waiting for Hillary to go to president.
We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. They came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Well, yeah, we do have some issues here. We definitely don't need this country just because, we take in migrants and we have migrants come here. We don't need the worst of every country being sent here by design. That's a tactic an enemy would use to destroy this place. And they're doing it. We've witnessed them do this all across Europe. Every single country that's smaller than us has already hit the fan. UK, Ireland, France, like all of them, Germany, just every one of them. It's hit the fan already. Now, well, Well, let's jump to more political stuff here. Liberal Hollywood donors lining up behind Gavin Newsom for 2028. So this is their man. Just want to point that out real quick. When it comes to the next election, like Gavin Newsom's going to be their man. This far in advance. Don't know who's going to run with him. They'll have all the other clowns out there in the race, but it comes down to this man. John, thank you for the coffee. Much love. God bless. And Dreadlock checking in. Thank you for the super chat there. Much love. Thank you. Polymarket again is going to be it's going to be one to place some bets on all this stuff. It's just going to be fun and interesting to see how it plays out. Like who is going to be not only the prime candidate off that side, but who's going to be the vice. I almost think that Gavin is like a given there that's going to happen. But who's going to be the vice? I could see him taking a female vice in that instance. But he's bloodline. Newsom's bloodline. You got to know the history of the Newsom family anyway, and even of California and the control of it. It goes deep, man. Much love, Jay. If you missed the last time I said this, I just want you to know Trump confirms all the auto pen stuff by Biden is void. All the pardons are void. This is huge. I mean, in a righteous world, it would be huge. This opens the door to go after all these people and prosecute them. And if it was real deal, like you would been on them day one. On Fauci, on Hunter Biden, on all these games. But no, not a word of it. Not a word of it. It's such a sick, ridiculous game. Let's jump to Epstein Island. That's right. New images inside this area. Little St. James. You can see the images here, but we'll take a closer look. Some of them are creepy. Now, this one, the famous room that has the dentist chair, where a lot of apparent sick sexual stuff went down right here in this chair with a lot of famous people. Yeah, got all these masks of different characters on the wall. It looks like Barack Obama back here in top left. So I can make out that's the one that really stands out. Really creepy that you got their faces like that all around the room. Like all these pervs. They're sitting there, they're watching. It's what it reminds me of. You've got another room that's interesting, this nice library room. Where no doubt some people had some very interesting conversations. But what's on the back chalkboard is super interesting. Okay. There's names. And I have not dove into this super deep. Okay. And thank you again, Jay Winch, man. Yeah, and thank you for the comment. Whatever's written on the chalkboard is definitely interesting. The names. What's more interesting is what's blacked out. For you to go out of your way to black these names out off this chalkboard, this is ridiculous. But this shows you the level of cover-up. But in the past, there's been information released that they thought that they were going to be slick about, like the last big batch that they released, and it was regurgitated from before, and it was redacted. And what was crazy is they redacted stuff that was already released before that was not redacted. That's how pathetic they were with this whole thing. So yeah, it's for someone to have gotten onto the estate and like captured these pictures like this and like have this information and like have the Rolodex, like all the names in the Rolodex and all this stuff, that's key. That's bombshell. It's definitely information at this point. Obviously, they're willing to cover all this up. So that's another room right there. Here's a closer look. Finn, intellectual, political, power, deception. Is it plants? Appears, music, time, day, truth. Why would these little these things here be interesting? Various bedrooms. And bathrooms. Here for him and his guests, you can see no trespassing signs. And here is some video. So, PBS News. Like, are you kidding me? Like, PBS? Now, I remember when some cats got on a boat and went up here and, like, got some drone footage and some other footage. Look at the pool. Just, wonder what that big white thing, that circle is they just tried to zoom in on. The end of the island. Interesting. This is worth its own expedition. Getting a drone in the air and doing some extended research. Yeah, blue roofs. Blue roofs. Yep. If you're going to build, you might want to add a blue roof. Yeah, a little spot down there on the edge of the Cape. That's interesting. And probably one of the easiest things you're going to get. Like, if you're out here in open water on a boat and you launch a drone, just get it straight up in the air, you're going to be able to look down and see what a lot of this stuff is without even flying over the place, so to speak. Just staying on the edge, you're still going to be able to see a ton operating in legal space. So, just there's a ton of stuff to be done out there, man. We had a little boat. Can get out there in a little expedition. Again, some guys already did this a while back and were successful. Even got out on foot and ran around there. What up, Gary? You would know, wouldn't you? Only soul on the planet to help me. Much love, my brother. Probably the helicopter landing pad, some say. Could be, yeah. Pretty far out there. If I had the island, thinking for myself, I wouldn't have it all the way over there. I have it more like up, like right at the house. Get off the helicopter, enter the pad, just like you do at a hospital or whatever, like on the roof or whatever. It's just how I would do it. Not have it like way, like if it's raining, you have to get out and like travel all the way. I don't know. Something, I don't know. Seems like an odd spot. It almost seems like there's something written on it though. Like there's something there. I think I've seen seen it before, actually. I've seen all the aerials. It's in my memory bank. Here's some of the older drone footage that they took. There were people there inside, like agents, going through the stuff, and they're outside with the drone, sniping them. Oh, come on with that stupid music. It's enough right there to get the crap. NYPD on Epstein. You clearly see it. Yeah, it's worth a good little expedition and looking into. Again, you can't, when it comes to these things like this, especially an island out there, like when it comes to drones, period, like you just saw the drone was right there. Those guys never got in no trouble for that. I know who did it. I know who did that. I know the guys snuck on there. And they actually went on the island. They went on the island. They ran up to the buildings, all this. They did all that. They didn't just get a drone in the air like you seen. They snuck onto the island. They took a boat there and snuck on. It was Luke Rudowski. And I long wondered and questioned, how did he never go to jail for it? Well, they didn't. And apparently, if the owner of the place is dead, then who's going to press charges on him for trespassing is how I see it. And they were kind of a litmus test. They filmed it. They snuck onto the island, and it's out there. You just seen the footage. You just seen the drone footage. They snuck on, and then people got hip to them, and like, they ran out of there, jumped on the boat, and got out of there. So I give props for that one. I guess nobody else did. I'm gonna keep it. I think where are we at here? Check in around 11:15. All right, I'm gonna skip past that one. We have a leak coming out of the Pentagon. The Inspector General has classified report finding the Hexeth in the signal group chat violated regulations and it put personnel at risk. Silver Surfer, I seen you hashtagging something tonight about Hegseth resign. Like, well, I doubt he does that. But if they switched up the top military dude, like right before they start these strikes, it'd be interesting. You got to remember, like, the Pentagon is loaded with all this top brass. Hegseth is just like Trump, just a front man, just a speaker man. Like all these other guys in the Pentagon are making all these decisions. And there's many layers deep to this. And if they feel it's time for Hegseth to have to go for whatever reason, they'll pull him quick. Same with any of them. I figured they would take out Trash Patel or Bongino before anyone because they suck so bad. But if anybody ever kills me, it was them. Military coup. Senator Mark Warner says he hopes the military may save us from Trump and his presidency. So guys out there very serious about this. And they're hoping for a military coup. Like right now. The other side is hoping and praying for this big time. You know, so it's here. I play a clip.
Unprecedented disrespect when they were all brought to get a pep rally in front of Hegseth and Trump. This is an administration that's fired, uniform generals from the head of the NSA, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Mm-hmm. And I think in many ways, the uniform military may help save us from this president and his lame people like Hegseth, because I think their commitment is to the Constitution and obviously not to Trump, and I expect Bradley to adhere to that.
So, Senator, let's go a little further on this. What are concerns you have about the legality of these strikes at all?
Well, that's a question that a lot of people are bringing up, actually. Like, what's the legality of just striking these boats out in the ocean? We're getting no names. We're getting no confirmation of nothing. No mugshots, no nothing. They're like judge, jury, executioner, like raining down, death from above. And if they see anybody squirming on the ground, just like they do in Ukraine and all these other places, they'll strike a position. And if there's guys laying on the ground wounded and they're like crawling off or anything, they'll bomb them. They'll strike them too. You're better off laying there in a situation like that. I'm not kidding you. Playing dead. If they were to bomb the battlefield, you're better off hitting the ground and not moving at all. If they see you move, they will hit it again. And they'll do a little scope, give it 5-10 minutes. They see a movement, they're out of the area. I watch it daily. Pisses me off. Pisses me off. I watched it today. In Ukraine. I watched a group of guys. I forget which side it was, even if it was Ukraine or Russian. I just watched packed about a dozen dudes get eliminated, and they you can't even see this chopper, because if they knew that an Apache was in the air, they would it could see them. They would run for their lives. You cannot see these things. They can sit so far away and catch you and zoom in and catch your image and shoot you from so far away with accuracy. It's insane. They do it all day long, constantly. And it's sad. It's sad. I watched them hit a whole platoon of guys, and they just started hammering it. And thank you, Grey Wolf, for the coffees. And again, anybody that was trying to run for their lives, they got hit next. Anyone that was sprinting off, they got nailed next. Anyone that was then showing movement, trying to crawl away or anything like that, they finished them off then in the end. That's what's going to happen here. Unfortunately, I just ask God that when I die, be quick and there's no suffering, right? We all got to go at some point, but careful what you wish for. Anyone that wanted to come into the end days, it's going to get horrific. And you were going to have to live through it. I don't know what you were thinking anyway. Bragging rights on the other side to say that you lived through the craziest of times. That is very true. Once we're released from this body, who lived the craziest life? Well, if you lived through the end, I could argue that even before it happens, that would be the craziest time of all times. We're there. We're here. We're in the simulation, living it out. In the midst of this, there's constant war. That's one thing I'm always reporting on, no matter what. There's constant war. I think something is going on off the coast of America, to be honest with you. It seems like it. It seems like it, like with this story right here. A U.S. Navy doomsday aircraft vanishes over the Atlantic while it's on this mystery mission, so to speak. It's either on a mission well, we know that the whole E-6B fleet, which are Mercury class, these are doomsday planes. They're part of Project Looking Glass. And these typically are used for strategic things. Hegseth, the president, they would board this, especially in a time of war. And they could be used to like track other things like submarines or communicate with submarines down below, or like track them. Like they may be out there like trying to track certain things in the ocean. If they think a submarine's out there, they have different aircraft that will get out there, like the Poseidons and everything else, and they'll be trying to pick up signals, and they'll be circling. And if you can track that activity, there's something going on. We've seen it. We've done it. We've done it. We've tracked the aircraft circling certain areas, and we knew there was something going on there just because of their activity. Well, when they go dark, that means that like it's super high classified, or it's like a real deal mission. That like it's a real deal mission. Like it's highly super sensitive. Geo says 15 Air Force planes flew over my house the other night at 2 a.m. with fighter jets escorting to E3 Sentry. Wow. Thank you for the update and the information, brother. Right there next to it. I did get them clips, and you said not to share one of something, so I decided I didn't want to share nothing that had sensitive information in it. So this Navy doomsday plane vanishing off radar. We don't know what that was about. Now, globally, you've got Ukraine, the big war front, right? This is like not even our war. Yeah, we started it, but like Trump's largely trying to get out of it and make peace at the same time. Like, and get the props for it. He wants the accolades, remember. Well, check this out. You've got NATO members all coming together. And this is the time where the United States is like potentially breaking away from NATO. They're definitely breaking away from Ukraine. So that's like, that even if you're staying in NATO, I mean, what's it say to NATO? You're like, I'm out of this war. Like, I'm out of it. You guys can stay in it. Well, then, like, you're not even in NATO then. You're not, like, you don't have all your allies' backs. It's how they're saying it and saying it. And it's like causing a rift. But NATO commits to more than $1 billion in weapons from the United States for Ukraine. So if we're not in the war, well, guess what? We're selling $1 billion worth of equipment to go slaughter more people for the war. It's never ending. War's a racket, man. So, I mean, if you're Russia and this is real deal out here on the world stage, you're looking at this like this isn't like you're feeding our enemy. But this is a racket, I'm telling you. The United States is set up on one side, Russia's set up on the other side. They both sell equipment to all their buddies, all their allies. And that's how it works ever since the end of World War II. Like, we won World War II. They had this big parade. It was awesome. Had this big powwow. They had this private meeting. When it was over, the United States people flew back to the U.S. from Moscow. And ever since then, they acted like they hate each other. Like, a plan was hatched to act like they hate each other. They went through Cold War, all the way up to present day, acting like they hate each other. But in the reality of it, the entire time, they've been playing both sides of every major war front and supplying the weapons from both sides and profiting the entire time. Profiting the entire time. That's what's really been happening. Curtain drop. World's a stage. They're all in on it. Sell us out. Sure are. They're just playing the Russian people, the American people, Canadian people, Australian people, British people, Irish people, you name it. They're playing everybody. Every government is just there to play the people. That's why I salute anyone from any country that's got the kahunas to rise up against the beast. Putin sees all these moves being made, and what's he say? He's ready for war against Europe. And notice he says Europe, not the US, not the West anymore. The tone has changed. The rhetoric has changed to where we're not mentioned, because they can see that the U.S. has tried and been trying and making concessions to try to get out of this deal. Largely, Zelensky's rejected everything, which has been ridiculous. And Vladimir even said here recently, like, we could do something. We could actually get a peace plan going with the U.S. plan. That says a lot. But then now, the tone changes. And he flexes and says, look, you guys want to blast our tankers off the coast of Africa and start striking us all around the world outside of Ukraine? It's on. It's on. This is unprecedented. This is world war, man. Literally. We're anywhere. Anything, anywhere is fair game. That's why I was saying about that mission off our East Coast. It was just a couple months ago. I reported off the coast of Florida, there was a Russian sub spotted and all kinds of different Russian activity going down and around Cuba. Just right there. Right there. I mean, dude, when you're I've seen images from the Bahamas, people that are in the Bahamas, you can see the lights of Miami light up the whole horizon. It's like less than 100 miles away. Like, that's how close Cuba is. You've got Russia and the enemies lurking around that close, where you can see the city lights of America right there off the ocean. Ain't nothing for them to reach out and touch you. And remember, they came out bragging, Russia did, about using a tsunami bomb, that they tested it here recently. I've warned about that thing years ago. And all of a sudden, they want to make headlines saying, oh, yeah. To me, it was kind of like a warning. Like, we knew you had this the whole time. But they're like, no, we just tested it successfully. It's like, okay, that thing's capable of making like a 50-foot, 100-foot wave, radiation wave, that like is something you would see like only out of the movies or AI make. I shared a tweet of it here within the past couple of weeks of a wall of water coming in on a city. It's exactly what it would be like if Russia drops a tsunami bomb. And I take it seriously because there's only so many scenarios here that is on your money. And see, the money is like sacred to them. It's ritualistic. You put it on there and it's on there for years and years and years, just like 9/11. You can fold it up and see two towers smoking. That's because it was always meant to be. It was planned for years and years and years ahead. Okay. And so was another event. A wall of water coming in on a city. And it's on your money. And it may hit multiple cities. Because if you're going to hit a coastline with a wave that big to do damage, find it hard to believe it's just going to hit one city. There's so many different cities going down the East Coast anyway, the United States, that many could get clipped. Especially if it was like NYC. NYC would get wiped out. Or even say DC, the whole area, anything around it. And I see them hitting both of those places strategically if you're the baddies. Why? Well, Hollywood has only shown you and prophesized one major city getting hit and wiped out over and over and over and over and over again. And that is NYC. Okay? It's NYC. And there's only one other place that you would want to pull off a controlled demolition, so to speak, if you're them, outside of NYC. And that is the Devil's Playground, DC, where you did all your dirt. If you could wipe that place off the map, it would do you good. If you're all the bad guys, you think about it, you've got all your dirt is in the Pentagon, is in all these buildings, all through DC. Like, most of the time you go out back and you burn all the paperwork, but in this instance, like, the whole place needs to burn. DC, even from their eyes. So that's a setup. Do you see? Okay, so these are top of the list places to get hit for those reasons. Okay? Why did Building 7 go down? It was never hit by a plane. It was housing all the paperwork and stuff connected to, I don't know, the trillions of dollars that Rumsfeld said was missing the day before. Oh, man. People seem to forget Edward Snowden spilled the beans years ago about the government being at war with our rights and freedoms. Yeah, hey, thank you, Sevenfold, for the comment and all that. And tensions going to a new level between NATO or within NATO as Pentagon abruptly halts the Ukraine-related communications with Germany. This is interesting. What have I been telling you about Germany? Germany wants war with Russia regardless. They just want it. It doesn't matter what's talked about. All they want, like France and Germany, is like war. It makes no sense, but it's all they want. Their countries are falling apart. Their economies are falling apart all by the time. They just want war. So now all of a sudden, tension between us and Germany, this is going to get interesting. It's going to hit the fan here at some point. And it's showing right here. So as soon as we're backing out, it's getting really heated with Germany. Really heated with Germany. It's the same Germany. They have a vendetta. They want to pick up where the Nazis left off, regardless. Like the Nazis were like on the doorstep of Moscow, advancing until the whole Japan thing went down. Pearl Harbor, dropping bombs, that shifted the whole thing. We allied then with Russia, changed the whole game. Everything ended. Because if those moves wouldn't have been made, Germany was advancing on Moscow. And the whole war could have ended different. Yep, Germany. I used to sit up late at night when I was younger and just watch all the history stuff. It's like I got my schooling there for sure. It's all set up though. It all goes back to Rothschild banks that were set up in all these countries. So it was Rothschild money funneling into all the places, meaning they were controlling both sides, literally. And they do the same thing to this very day. To this very day. So Germany's industrial backbone is collapsing. I say these things so you know. Japan's falling apart. Germany's falling apart. China. All these places, man. A global economic reset is about to happen. And we were ahead of it. We've seen it coming the entire time. It's what's on the other side of this is scary. And as you can see here, Zelensky's meeting with the U.S. has been canceled because no progress was made with Moscow in these talks. This does not look good. It's because they know that every single thing that gets pitched out there, Zelensky's whining like a little baby. So for the first time, I'm hearing very serious talk that like Zelensky could get eliminated, assassinated, taken out. He could get pulled into this new scandal that's erupted too. Look, when they want you gone, like you're gone. If you don't want to go, when it's your time to like step down, like they'll find a way to remove you. These are the most sinister mafia guys on the planet. And Russia is leaning on China heavily, super heavily right now in terms of the war and weapons, especially drones. So a lot of the attacks that you're seeing on Kiev and all these other places coming from Russia, they're largely Chinese drones that are being used in this. Instead of Russia trying to get into the game and they produce some of their own, but like not in massive amounts. Definitely not like China is doing. They're buying a bunch off of China, and they're using them rather quickly. Now, Trump goes off about these narco boats, saying we're going to take these son of a bees out, and we're gonna smoke them all. We'll play this clip.
We lost last year. I think it was more than that, but people don't like saying it because they always said 100,000, 115,000, numbers we've been hearing for years. So we lost last year more than 200,000 people, dead people, ruined families beyond the 200,000. And those 200,000, that family will never be the same. But these people have killed over 200,000 people, actually killed over 200,000 people last year. And those numbers are down. Those numbers are down. They're way down. And they're down because we're doing these strikes, and we're going to start doing those strikes on land, too. The land is much easier. It's much easier. And we know the routes they take. We know everything about them. We know where they live. We know where the bad ones live. And we're going to start that very soon, too.
Mr. President, thank you so much, Mr. President.
You know what? When we start that, we're going to drive those numbers down so low. And then you're going to have families be able to live without the fear of their son or daughter just having a pill to have a little fun and ending up dying within a period of 60 seconds, right? No, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let it continue to happen. What Biden did to this country by allowing all these people, and I call them animals in many cases, I think they're animals, to come into our country and destroy our country and let all those drugs pour in. Let people just walk across the border like it was nothing. You look at them, a lot of them, you say, oh, let's not discriminate. I'm not talking about color. I'm just talking about you look into the eyes of some of these people. We're smart. And you see a killer. Come on in. Just come on in. 11,888 murderers. Many of them committed more than one murder. He allowed them into our country, totally unvetted, totally unchecked. But he also allowed drugs to come in at record numbers. And hundreds of thousands of people a year died. And we're taking those son of a bitches out. We lost.
So there you go. And I personally have lost. I've lost more people in this fight, in this war, in this life that I know of and have heard of. Not just me, but just I've reported of. I report on people getting taken out from fentanyl more than anything. More than anything. Robberies, more than like car wrecks, heart attacks, like anything. Absolutely anything. It's dropped more bodies. I got a whole sheet of paper here I've started. I go on and on and on about this. Something has to happen, but it's fraudulent. He's fraudulent. We know our government participates largely in getting everything here. Okay, so what they're doing in Latin America right now is they're positioning for a major war. You just heard what he said. They're about to start striking on land, and the land's easier. I don't know about that. How easier? How could that be? I just don't buy that personally. I don't buy that land strikes are easier. Because like if you gave me the option and I'm in the military, just think about it, play it out. What's easier? Well, if we're trying to track these guys by air and they're driving and they're moving around, and we're watching them, and they're leaving one compound, they're driving to another, and it's in the jungle. It's this thick jungle. You can't even see them all the way, because they're behind trees. You've got all these obstacles. Not only that, now can you not see them as well? Even if you use thermal, if you're trying to shoot at them, like you got to shoot through trees and all this other stuff, which does not work as well. When you're trying to take people out, it's not like it's an open field, right? But if you're out in the ocean, it's a clean, blank slate. And whenever there's a little boat going through, it leaves a trail and a wake behind it. They're the easiest thing in the world to see and to pick up. And you have nothing obstructing your shot. You have nothing obstructing anything. They can't hide behind anything. They can't go we can't do nothing. They're sitting ducks. That's where the term comes from. I mean, Skeeby, thank you, 1111. Much love to everybody out there. Salutes. That's just my take on it. Things he says. Anyhow, Trump is aligning all these different countries in Latin America with us. Honduras and other ones down there. He's made his moves with Argentina. And he's put his threats out there like against the leadership in Colombia. Venezuela's allies are like buckling. And this is a setup. China and Russia are sitting there doing nothing. They don't stand a chance right now. What good is it to have an ally or a major ally if in a situation like this, they hang you out to dry? Maduro's finding out right now he's screwed. Huge. They have requested simple things from Russia and China, like anti-aircraft stuff to run on the beach, largely equipment, right? Russia and China hasn't given them nothing. Nothing. He's in an oh crap moment. This dude's about, and like Trump gave him an ultimatum here recently to accept, and he rejected it and like came back with something else trying to pull a Zelensky. I don't know. You don't look in this position, there's no negotiating. Like if they give you an offer, if Trump like even dares gives you an offer, it's like you take it and like you live to see another day. If not, you're done. You heard what he just said. He knows where all these people live. He knows where they're at. They know everything. They are meticulously waiting. They have waited this entire year since day one for this moment. For this moment, they sure have. It's going to have huge repercussions, huge blowback. We have such a force amassed in the Western Hemisphere right now. It's insane. And like, you don't think that when these strikes start that they're not going to, if they see our ships sitting out there, we all know they're sitting there. Aircraft carrier, everything else. You don't think they're not going to try to fire back and do something? They're going to. They're going to try to defend their country, man. They're going to. I feel bad. Again, these are innocent people from countries that are getting ready to get slaughtered. That's what's about to happen. This isn't going to be about narco strikes for long. Trump's trying to paint it like, yeah, we're going to go here and do a couple of these strikes, this and that, just like they're hitting these narco boats. But no. When you start hitting on land and like you hit ports and you hit this other stuff, like it's over. The military's going to engage you. They have not engaged them yet. They've let them keep hitting these narco boats. But the moment that the Venezuelan military engages, it is on. It's on. It's not going to be good, man. That means we're wide open. We're fair game. What did Russia just say earlier? You want to strike our tankers halfway on the other side of the planet? Like, then we can hit you anywhere. I don't like none of it. It screams blowback. Yeah, we don't want this war. We didn't ask for this. We don't want it. I guarantee you, all of MAC, even though half of them won't admit it, none of them had this on their mind when they were voting. They were thinking, oh, it's going to be a peace presidency, Trump, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Think again. This is a second termer. And in second terms, you have nothing to worry about. You can't run a third. You ain't going to go in there for a third. So it's like the gloves come off. You get to see the fangs. Like they don't care no more. Like they're done trying to fool people. Like you're stuck with him regardless now. Screw you is how they see it. He even turned around and said screw half his base because they weren't going to stand for pedophiles. Like that's where they're at this point. He don't care. It's like he's in there. He's all about getting the accolades for the record books from here, is what old Chumpy is in this for. It's it. It's all. He's don't care about people, period. He don't care about none of that. He's sticking to the script. He bows down to what the dudes in the black hats tell him to do. And J.D. Vance is the same. And just going to be a continuation of that. And this place is done. So, with Venezuela, though, this is super interesting what's going to happen here. Will China and Russia step up at some point to some capacity? I don't know. We're just going to sit back and see what happens here. When allies of this magnitude leave you hanging, what kind of signal does that send to your other allies? Really? All kind of weird signals being sent out here. Really? All the other allies are sitting there like, oh crap. You're telling me that like China and Russia just sold you out, like just left you hanging in Venezuela? Like, and that's who, like, I don't know, Brazil is leaning on. You might want to think twice then. If they didn't come to their help, why would they come to yours? You've been played. You've been suckered. Yep. And when needed the most, they're not there. Well, whole world's a stage. This isn't just about Venezuela neither. Remember, Trump with Masada pictures on the wall. Maduro could be exiled to Qatar. This is some of the talk. Like, if this dude don't hop on a flight and get out of there tonight, like seriously, like anytime, it's over. And if he does do this, what this will signal is like anyone that's left there that wants to make a stand is on their own. But it's gonna signal to the military and everybody else that like should just like you need to pick up the phone and strike up a deal with the U.S. military, instead of any kind of war. And it very well may happen. There may be a smooth transition. Remember, the opposition leader is Machado, is the lady that won the Nobel Peace Prize. This is such a setup. Like, so it could be smooth. All they got to do is get Maduro out of there and get their all they ever want is their puppet in there. If he walks out of there without a shot fired and their puppet takes power, at least in turn to an election, and then they hold an election, and then maybe the puppet wins it through a rigged election or whatever. It's without a shot fired. It's without bombing the crap out of everywhere, without destroying their military. And you're going to win the people over. Because that's what this is ultimately about. You're going to win them over by going this route. Quickly, a quick exchange. Rather than bombing the piss out of their men and their sons, their military. Once that begins, you start killing them. It's not the narco dudes now. That's the people defending their country. They're not going to take it lightly. And they're probably going to turn around and strongly reject any U.S. puppet. Right? So, in all reality, a decapitation strike, getting Maduro out of there as quickly as possible is the key here for a smooth transition. Or if not, if the whole goal is to make Venezuela descend into chaos, dude, you better just watch out. Like, 'cause if that's the plan, to turn it into chaos, dude, that means they're going to turn the place into chaos from Venezuela into Colombia, all the way up into Mexico, the whole nine. It's one or the other here, man. And again, it doesn't look good for Colombia after this move, regardless, because if Maduro steps down, it's gone, and they strike a deal out, and it's all peace, like I just said, it's a quick transition, no shots fired. The guns are going to turn right toward Colombia. right on the leadership. Like, oh, leader of the world's cocaine stuff. Like, either you do this and you do that, or you're done. The same thing's going to show up on their doorstep. How would it not? How could it not? And then what? You got all these guys exiled to Qatar or to Moscow, where all these other guys are already exiled. Then ultimately got all the bad guy leaders all exiled to one place. That's when you hit it with the nuke. Jeez. Checkmate. So Chinese and Japanese boats squaring off near Taiwan. The feud escalating. This is getting super interesting because Japan on the west side, the west side now of this whole thing, and like frontline soldiers here against China, our frontline, ally in the area. And we're loading them up. Japan's going to play big in this, but they need to watch it because in this position, if China was going to strike anyone heavily militarily, it's probably first, it's going to be Japan. And when it comes to the U.S., I want to make it clear that it is on record that both Russia and China, their top brass in the military, is on record saying we don't have to go back and forth a tit for tat with the U.S. military. All we got to do is hit them one time. One time. There's only one way that happens. And that's an EMP. Lights out. One huge coordinated event. It would dwarf 9/11. That, and it's coming. It's coming. And it will be staged just like Blind 11. Sure will. Rigged with explosives and all. And they've had decades now to plan this grandiose event. It will happen on Trump's watch. It will be tied into a global reset. And it will be tied into a restructuring of the world order. They've already announced it. It will be a multipolar world order. It's already out of the bag. That's the plan. It's where it's going. Only thing missing here is the Great Reset. That is yet to happen. It could very well cause Great Depression. EC, seriously, this could. The Greater Depression is what I call it. A great suffering. And, if we're attacked by another place, another country, lights get put out, of course, our government could say it wasn't our fault. And it's a scapegoat for them. Always. Blame the enemy. And what's anyone going to do when the lights are out? Like, China is our biggest threat when it comes to the U.S. on this world stage, period. And I'll just sum it up with that. That if anything happens, you already know they're in all of our stuff. They're in all of our grid, water, infrastructure, you name it. They're parked right up next to all of our military bases, own the land right up to the freaking fence. We've been sold out. Trump talking about bringing in another 600,000. Doesn't seem to be concerned about all the ones that are here, all the ones growing marijuana all across Oklahoma and everywhere else. Doesn't seem to be concerned about none of it. His good pal Xi Jinping says he's going to stop sending fentanyl and all that. Like, garbage. Garbage. If that's the case, then you shouldn't have to be smoking these narco boats. It's all lies, man. I'm sick of it. If they ever do pull off a Red Dawn thing, dropping troops from the sky, it would literally have to be after the comms are down, after our grid does go down. And it would literally be, I feel, it would be more for a visual effect than anything on everyone. Anyone that looks up and see troops jumping out of planes from the skies, it will snap their psyche. Like they will freak. It would do something to them. Crazy. They'll flip out, run around like a chicken with their head cut off. But what they should be doing is going in and grabbing your guns and getting busy. But that's an invasion if it ever happens. And what's crazy is like we can clearly see what could set the stage to it, and we can clearly see if it was to ever possibly happen, what troops it would be. It'd be Russian and Chinese. Combination of the two. But China's got more men to throw at it than they could do anything with. They've only telegraphed it in Red Dawn and all this stuff so many times. It's why I mention it. The fact that they put the stuff in movies and they telegraph it and they remake some of those movies even for later times to kind of like hit it home. Hey, there's a couple key things that could happen here, man. We've talked about it all here tonight. Economically, it's one of the biggest things. And if the grid goes down, by golly, you better be ready. If you don't know, we do have a song out on that. I'll take us out of here on it here tonight. And I guess I'll wrap us up. I'll give us some shout outs here and wrap us up here for this one. I got more secrets than you even know. For those that join me in the flesh and wish to know them, it's probably the only way that you're going to get them at this point. I don't know, man. Like, I look forward to any of you that reach out and trust me, when I see someone seeking, then it's on. What I mean by this is like, I'm done casting my pearls amongst swine. Like, God literally warned me not to do it in the scripture, so I'm not done with it. Those that come seeking, they'll get the goods at this point. And there's so much, because this is the way it is. Either you want it or you don't. So it goes along with everything else out there. Everyone just sits there and they watch and they want everything for free and don't want to do anything. But you're at least going to have to get up your ass and go looking if you want the goods and you want the deep truth. There's some major secrets here that are life-changing, that once discovered, you will live different. Without a doubt. I know I am. Okay. Much love here.
This is WW3. It seems the establishment is again telegraphing lights out. One of the most recent warnings was the World Economic Forum warning of this lights out event. Also jumping this year, the year of the poly crisis.
The signs in the skies that my ghetto space failing. Extra solar flashing and beach prevailing. We in the times when the truth's unveiling. You better catch up fast and stop trailing. The nailing office misdirecting nations. Flames and die resisting temptations. Only way to move it, taking haven. Agenda 21's all about sustaining. The powers that be to continue reigning. So don't be mad when the MPs are reigning. The days are numbered, I hear the says wailing. So from here on in, it's strictly plain sailing. When the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready.
I'm seeing more and more things like airflow, and this is all part of an increase in the sun's activity from these CMEs. The solar cycle 25. We're entering the peak a little ahead of schedule.
powered from our Carrington 2.0 powered on. There's many scenarios for what beckons when the countdown clock reaches the final second. Russian super nuke shooter threatened till they letting them off like corona massive engines. Science the weapon and choice they've chosen, like classic as a vice, they cold and frozen. It's all lies, the world's not broken, but the countdown for 2030's not joking. When the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
We now have the actor Dennis Quaid reading from the script, giving out this warning.
Thank you,
And he says
Dave.
that the electric
Thank you,
will go
Silver
out
Sailor.
from 2:30
Thank you,
a.m.
Eon,
That seems to be the window. They
for the
also
support.
state that people
Much love.
cannot
God bless.
survive without water, and that this too will shut down the water supply. How many people are paying attention?
Ready or not, pay attention. People take the lies they spin when the grid goes down. Was it planned by kings? That demand I sling and a rock to sling. So show respect, it don't cost a thing. Like shots that ring, people look for cover when shit is the fan. Then people gon' suffer. The end's close, I can smell the sulfur. The grid's going down, well, wait, you're another.
Yeah, it's lights out like an EMP. Blood in the streets in the land of the free. It's all by design by the GOVERNMENT. Unless we're getting hit by CME, there's really no telling when the moment it's gonna be. From the time that it spark, reject the mark. You better have a plan or get left in the dark. Yeah, from the time that it spark, reject the mark. You better have a plan or get left in the dark.
When the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down,
Thank you,
you
Deanne.
better be ready. When the grid goes down, when the grid goes down, you better be ready. You better be ready.
Much love. God bless.
Ready or not. Ready or not. Ready or not.
I spent a decade warning everybody about this event. We're on the doorstep of it. I'm warning you. They're telegraphing it again. So this is a repeated theme. Now they've got one of their Hollywood goons out here reading from the script. Warning. Lights out is coming. It's like we can't trust anything going on out there. We've got to stay on top of things. Eyes to the sky, y'all.
But I believe that people stand before God in the flesh to face Him. To be without God throughout eternity. That's the greatest hell. There's no more painful existence than that. God's fire will destroy you and torment you, or God's fire will ravish you.
You're not ready for the war. Man, I wanna run up on the bloodstained floor. Been in many battles together, now let us do it once more. Unite the tribes together like a Mongolian horde. Live fast, die young, cause my home is with the Lord, not on earthly shores. Been in heavenly wars, been deceived, no war between the devils and God, yo. We'll take the levels to the heavenly walls. I'm a rebel with cause, I don't settle for laws, yo. Goes higher than you know, you don't know who's involved. See the fire down below and it is you who calls. Sound of silence when the darkness falls. I rebel from the start of your heartless laws. You're not ready for the mad pack hordes, the snapback jaws and the bloodstained swords.
You're not ready for the warlord, devilish plans and the sordid scams by the corporate hand. On a revolution that will scorch your land under God's command, but watch it all go bang. You're not ready to pay repentance or the consequence of your independence. You're not ready for the wrath, the aftermath, the bloodbath and the lifetime sentence. You're not ready for the fires in hell. Lord have mercy for the souls that fail. The prophecy told only time will tell if you're going to heaven or where the reaper dwells. You're not ready for the Lucifer crowning. Build an ark if you're scared of drowning. Kids ain't safe, it will break them down. When it comes with a cloud and a trumpet sound.
You're not ready for this cause I can read your faces. You're not ready for the fall-on changes. You're not ready for the one world order. You're not ready for the public disorder. You're not ready for the riots. So if you're not to give your freedom up and stay quiet, cause I'm inspired by the storm approaching. You're not ready for the seals to be broken. You're not ready for the rage of God when He's spoken. But when He comes then your eyes will be opened. But it's too late, it's overdue mate. You're not ready for what's sold to you mate. So keep your eyes to the sky and when the sun dies, know that your time is through mate. So don't screw face, it's on you mate. It's on you.
You're not ready for the return of the king. Not ready for the fire that He bring. Not ready for the sword that He swing. When He returns, you know the angel gon' sing. Not ready for the rise of the beast. When the Lord come from the east. Judgment of the living and deceased. Only when the wicked die will we find peace. You ain't ready for the tribulation. Bloodshed all across the nations. They control through manipulation, but they ain't ready for assassination. End time of the world upon us. It was even predicted by Nostradamus. They're releasing the demons are gonna harm us. In the end we got made of the same stardust.
Ready for the third world war on the earth, or even the bombs that'll blitz the world? You're not ready for the church's curse. The rewritten works in the books will burn. You're not aware of their evil witchcraft. The vultures lurk when their army's dispatched. No time to sit back and chit chat. You're not ready cause you're just a shitbag. Are you ready to be ruled by God? The back and backs are all ruled by wrath. Child and a political mob that control the planet like a voodoo doll. Are you ready for the mark of the beast? It's tainted like the heart of a priest. Rip out your chest what you start to beat, and offer it to God, he'll be pardons me.
Not ready for the gnosis, that's my prognosis. Street sleep in a state of hypnosis. The world's fucked, they ain't taking notice. It's too late, you're bound red like Orvis. You're not ready for the rapture or to be captured. Or when Satan declares himself as the master, and then Babylon falls with the call of a natural disaster. You're not ready for the master of a maker. You're not ready when he comes to create you. Shine so bright the heat will bake you. I am taught light like a freak of nature. You're not ready for the presence of God. The yellow brick road only leads to us. You're not ready for the panic in the street. The money that will speak will haunt you in your sleep.
They're held to face God without God. Really, all matter is only a manifestation of God's Spirit. Everything's held together and consists by the Word of God. And when God takes His Word out, the whole place will atomize.